Nathan Ryan, huge fan of Progress Texas because they always tell the truth and they're not afraid to get out there on some of the issues that I think progressives in Texas have a hard time getting out ahead on. Housing is top of mind for me all the time. I think if people have a stable place to live, then a lot of things get a lot easier.
It's Thursday, December 11th, 2025, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. As we've mentioned, it's a symbolic win for sure, but the Texas Democratic Party under new chair Kendall Scudder has marked a significant milestone this week as for the first time in 50 years, Democrats are running in every single state, federal, and judicial election in 2026. Dylan McKim at KXAN-TV in Austin talked to Scudder, who is taking a confrontational posture now that the full battlefield is covered, highlighting investment coming this direction from the National Democratic Party. Newly appointed House Democratic Campaign Committee Chair and State Rep Christina Morales is focusing on the voter turnout opportunities that a full slate presents. Renzo Downey at the Texas Tribune zeroes in on the state House districts that Morales and the HDCC are planning to target, in particular HD 34 and Corpus Christi incumbent Republican Denise Villalobos, Democratic challenger Stephanie Guerrero Saenz. HD 37 at the southern tippy tip of Texas, incumbent Republican Jenny Lopez, Democratic challengers Ozzy Ochoa, Stephanie Bauer, and Esme Cantu Castle. HD 112 in Northeast DFW, incumbent Republican Angie Chen Button, Democratic challenger Zach Herbert. HD 118 in San Antonio, incumbent Republican John Lujan, Democratic challenger Christian Carranza. And HD 121, also San Antonio, incumbent Republican Mark LaHood, Democratic challenger Zachary Dunn. The list of Democrats running across Texas has gotten long, and there are a lot of new names here. We don't say this often, but we're all ears for any candidates that you, dear listener, might come across whom you feel is deserving of more spotlight than they may have gotten. ProgressTexas.org to reach us anytime. The Texas Secretary of State's website, once again, and no surprise, has turned out to be a pretty garbage source for a full picture of the campaign scenario. We prefer the work being done once again by Michelle Davis at Lone Star Left, who has a meticulous document of both state level and federal level races. Links to both can be found in our show notes. Davis has started to dive in a little deeper, and some of her recent takes include what she sees as a high likelihood of a runoff in the governor's race. She's endorsed Austin State Rep Gina Hinojosa, who we look forward to seeing at our second holiday party in Dallas on Monday. But the crowded field of competitive candidates, including Bobby Cole of East Texas and Andrew White and Chris Bell of Houston, seems to point to strong runoff possibilities. On the other hand, Davis sees Austin State Rep Vicki Goodwin also coming to hang out in Dallas on Monday as more likely to win the primary outright. In the Attorney General's race, Davis sees some regional division with Joe Jaworski, you guessed it, also coming to the party on Monday, winning the name recognition game in South Texas, while primary opponent and Dallas State Senator Nathan Johnson wins it up north. A Jaworski-Johnson runoff looks likely there. The Democratic field for Texas Comptroller is quite strong, actually. Late filer and Austin State Senator Sarah Eckhart, who joined us last Monday for our first holiday soiree, joins Michael Lang, who you'll recall is a prior Democratic nominee for Land Commissioner, and Savant Moore, a well-known Politico and Houston ISD trustee. Comptroller is a job that a lot of Texans don't know that much about, which is kind of mind-blowing, as it holds a ton of sway over our money as the CFO of the state. Speaking of Land Commissioner, Davis points out here that that job is currently held by Republican and Western wear enthusiast Don Buckingham, who has been behind a lot of Donald Trump's success in securing space in Texas for what some might call detention facilities, but others might call gulag-style black hole prisons for immigrants and whatever other detainees Trump might need to put away. The two Democrats running for Land Commissioner are Benjamin Flores of Bay City and Jose Loya of Dumas, both of whom we'll be looking to get to know soon. Again, with a full statewide Democratic slate, that is just scratching the surface. Keep watching Progress Texas for what we plan to be deep and insightful election coverage between here and the primary in March. A lot of work to do and a lot of fun to be had, you ask us. We're looking forward to 2026 in a big way here at Progress Texas. Turning as we begin to wrap to this whole Turning Point USA high school thing, we hope you found it as weird as we did that the announcement earlier this week from Governor Greg Abbott and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick that the state is about to sink a bunch of your tax dollars into establishing Turning Point USA clubs in all of Texas high schools with a specific warning against the folks who run those schools not to resist. That's dark shit, y'all. Abbott is basically saying, we're doing this to your kids and you better shut up about it, almost assuming that what they're doing is going to seem nefarious to the people in charge of protecting those same kids. Really, really weird and conjuring Hitler Youth vibes for me. History lesson time here. The Hitler Youth Organization was started all the way back in the 1920s in Germany as a fully optional indoctrination wing of the Nazi Party, similar, say, to the Boy Scouts. But as the Nazis took actual control of Germany in the late 1930s, Hitler Youth membership became mandatory. It's not hard to see the parallel of Charlie Kirk's hateful vision being forced into every high school in Texas under the funding and authority of the state. It's time for young Texans and their parents to wake up to what these so-called Club America chapters are going to actually be about. And that's happening as the New York Times is dropping analysis of the conservative overhaul of the University of Texas at Austin. The Texas Tribune is deep diving on the reasons Texas A&M ran off President Mark Welsh, boiling down essentially to Welsh's own insufficiently wild-eyed MAGA zeal. And April Towery at the Houston Press is exploring the growing list of reasons university professors say they don't want to teach in Texas anymore. Many top candidates skipping over the worry and headaches over censorship and job security they rightly expect from a job at a Texas college. Too many Texans are sleeping through the creation of a MAGA indoctrination system for our children, starting in kindergarten with the financial undermining of public schools in favor of parochial private schools, rolling through high school now with state-sanctioned and funded right-wing indoctrination clubs, and the full ideological corruption of our state colleges under Governor Greg Abbott and the GOP-dominated legislature. The very future of our state via the future of our kids hangs in the balance in this upcoming election cycle. We hope to see you at our second Progress Texas holiday party for 2025. It's coming up next Monday night, December 15th in Dallas, featuring a second live podcast recording with Austin State Rep and gubernatorial candidate Gina Hinojosa, Austin State Rep and candidate for Lieutenant Governor Vicki Goodwin, Texas House Democratic Caucus Chair and Houston State Rep Gene Wu, and candidate for Attorney General Joe Jaworski. This year's holiday celebrations with you are made possible by Shaping the Future supporter Charles Zeller, Fired Up supporter John Adair, Be the Change supporters Alex Andrade, Scott Elphinstone, Howard Cleon, the Honorable Dick Levine, and the Honorable James Tallarico. Persistence supporters the Honorable Yasmin Simon, Jason Smith and Sarah Pareda, Unified, and Jerry Yoss. Good Trouble supporters Allison Grinter Allen, Bright Blue Inc., Alex Clark and Kate Rumsey, hosts of the Mission Texas podcast, John Cotter, Valerie DeBille, Amy Forehand, the Honorable Vicki Goodwin, Josh Harris, Freda Held, Joe Jaworski, the Honorable Ron Nierenberg, the Honorable Bill Peterson III, and Mark Yagjian. And Raise More Health supporters of Val, Louis A. Bedford IV, the Honorable John Busey III, Stuart Campbell, Hannah Cutshall, Charles Hodebeck, Bill Holston, the Honorable Donna Howard, Will Judy, Dave Jones, Angela and Gary Kutak, Jenny Laughlin, Carol Orr, Jennifer Owen, Palmer for Justice Campaign, Mark Ferris, Gary Potts, the Honorable Zoe Condry, Save Texas, Beth Stromberg, the Honorable Adam Schwartz, and the Texas Progressive Caucus. Our mission at Progress Texas is to counter the billionaire and corporate-funded conservative disinformation machine, and we rely largely on listener support to keep doing what we do. And while we enjoy the support of hundreds of partners, chances are that you, dear listener, haven't joined the team yet. If you're a regular, let's get you on board right now at progresstexas.org. Thanks to monthly supporters Samuel Longair, Michael Springer, and Lanny Potachik. We appreciate all of you very, very much. Join the team now at progresstexas.org. And while you're at the website, grab the merch to match your progressive values and those of the Texans on your holiday gift list at our web store, including our newly expanded Humans Against Greg Abbott collection of t-shirts, stickers, and yard signs. All of that and lots more at progresstexas.org in the web store. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Thursday, December 11, 2025. Links to all of these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is a nonprofit rapid response media organization promoting progressive messages and actions. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a terrific day. We'll catch you again tomorrow morning.